YTBC, what's the deal? And I want to do something a little different, man. I'm gonna do some frequently asked questions. Well, actually, just one frequently asked question I'm gonna touch on. And a lot of people always ask me, man, why don't I do interviews? Um, why don't I, go to gyms, and why don't I get heavyweights on my page and do interviews with them, so on and so forth. I have done a couple interviews a long time ago. I'll say about shit, when was this? 2011 had to been. I interviewed Peter Quillen and Grady Brewer. Shit, a few other guys, but it wasn't on my own personal doing. I was a part of the Rope a Dope radio show that's still going on. So shouts out to them. I used to always frequent on Rope a Dope radio. This is like 2011, early 2011, late 2011, 2012 a little bit. But I used to frequent on there a lot. You know what I mean? And so Chris Carlson would he would let some of the panelists ask questions to the fighters. So I got interviews via that way on Rope Up Radio. Shouts out to them. Shout outs to Chris. You know what I mean? But it all, like, as far as me being online, I started off online on eastsideboxing.com. Now that has changed to, what is it called? Boxing 24/7 or Boxing News 24/7. When you type in Eastside Boxing, it's named something else. I think it's Boxing 247 or something like that. But I used to be in the chat forums on there a lot. The way I am here on YouTube was just how I was in the chat forums on eastsideboxing.com, and I used to go by the moniker Monster of the Midway. And some people from YouTube say they remember that name from eastsideboxing.com. That was me. I used to leave long, it's funny because nowadays I say I don't like leaving long novel responses in the comment section, when that's all I used to do from about 2005 to about early 2011 when I stopped going on Eastside. But I was on there for about 5-6 years, maybe 2005, 2006. I know 2006 for sure. I want to say it was probably a little bit earlier when I first started going on there, but I used to write so much on there and being on there so frequently. The guy who was the editor, I believe at the time, Edward, I forgot his last name, Chikacheski or something. But it's funny because this same dude writes article for Boxing Scene. You've probably read a lot of his articles on Boxing Scene. He goes by Ed or Edward, and his last name is like CHY. It's a long last name, but him. He actually sent me a message one day. This is the spring of 2010. Sent me a message, and this before because I made my first YouTube page December of 2010. But this was before me wanting to do YouTube. He had asked me to be like an editor or whatever. He's been reading my post over the years, and they want to see if I want to write articles. And I turned it down. You know what I mean? I turned it down. Not like they needed me. You know what I mean? But he did ask me, and I turned it down because I didn't want to. It was funny because I was on there all the time, but I didn't want deadlines of writing articles and all that shit. I didn't want to go through all that. You know what I mean? So plus I didn't really have access, man. This is just me, a guy up in the Midwest sitting behind my computer. I just watch a lot of boxing and I have an opinion. I'm not at these gyms and shit like that. But he said I didn't need to. That didn't matter. But I just turned it down. All right. So then I started my first YouTube page 2010. And some of you notice about me, but people just some of my new viewers and new subscribers ask me this all the time. Some people think I'm like a new channel, and I'm not. This channel is new. The channel, I started last year of July, but my first page was been up since 2010. And on that page, I took 2 years off of YouTube one time because the shit was just getting boring, and the Pacquiao Mayweather shit was getting on my nerves. You know what I mean? So 2011, I started to do some type of media shit. I was working with, or doing articles for, I won't say necessarily working because I wasn't getting paid, but I was uploading a lot of articles for BoxingSocials.com. Shouts out to Carcino and Sean. Put up about 60 to 70 articles. We used to send our articles around to different websites. This one, Pacquiao was really hot, man, as far as his name. We would send our articles out to Filipino websites, and they would put the articles up in them. I had a few articles, man, that would get like 10,000 clicks. Or 10,000, clicks and views, like 10,000, like 3 or 4 days. For me, that was a lot. For me, just for me, a normal guy on here writing articles about fighters. Articles are real popular. Then I, start to get the YouTube popping. But I don't want to interview fighters. I don't want to be a part of some fucking promotional company or be at gyms and, have this fighter access and build this friendship. Because as soon as you built the friendship, you're not really going to give your honest opinion about these fighters. You're going to give your honest opinion from a positive standpoint to not upset the fighter. That's not real. I don't call it journalism, but that's not real. You know, let me not say nothing because I might lose my pass. Now, some of you have to do that shit. And shouts out to Tito Garcia. He was speaking on this. I'm not talking about who he was speaking about in particular, but just guys who have to go through this in general. You know, and I don't want to go through that, man. I don't want to go through, let me call this fighter, this champion. Um, you know, we can have a conversation, but as soon as he loses and I come here and do, you know, a post fight and he looked like shit in the fight and I can't say it because somebody close to him might hear it, now he mad at me. Yeah, come on, man. I can't, I'm 35 years old, man. I ain't about to be chasing no motherfucking 22-year-olds, 27-year-olds, or even somebody older than me or my age around for a fucking quote. And I'm not gonna be calling you and tell. I'm not doing that shit, man. I'm just not. So that's the reason why I don't, because I don't want to. You know, people, you know, they try to give me a lot of advice on my page to make it grow, to make it even bigger than it is. And I like that, you know. I'm not one of these guys that say, oh, I'm not going to take advice. You know, I'm open to anything. You know, I'll at least listen, you know, but that's not the route that I want to go. And as far as these fighters listening to our channels, yes, they do. I have a prospect, and you go on my prospect watch list and you can see for yourself. I'm not going to put his name out there because it's not about trying to put him out or put his name out there to, you know, to build off him or anything, but it's just one of these fighters asked me my opinion about his fighting style and told me that he will send me tapes of his fights and asking me, he said he respects my boxing knowledge, and this guy's a 5-0 pro. You know what I mean? He was asking me about my opinion about his fighting style because I did a prospect watch on him. He said respects my opinion. You know what I mean? So I'll go that route, but I'm not about to call these dudes and text them. And for those of you that do, I'm not knocking you. Do your thing, shit. Get 100,000 subs doing that. But me, I just can't do it because I know how I am. And as soon as we built a, you know, a over the phone, you know, uploader boxer relationship that's cool, then I say something, you know, about a fight or the fight selection or, you know, shit like that, you're gonna get mad at me. And I, you know, this kind of reminds me of battle rap a little bit. I watch a little bit of battle rap still to this day, and that's how it is with some of the bloggers on YouTube. There's all types of blogs. It's bloggers versus battle rappers, where these bloggers come in and say, yeah, man, dude had a good, you know, first round and second round was, man, the third round, he really didn't have shit. He had some recycled bars from another battle. The battler get mad at the blogger as if he didn't go in there and fuck his own battle up. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't have that. But one thing I will say is I'll always, when I come on my videos, man, I don't want to say some of my videos that I wouldn't be man enough to say in front of these fighters. That's one thing I try to do, you know what I mean? So that's why you don't hear me like to say bum and he's garbage and he's trash. And I know a lot of dudes do. You don't have to justify why you say it. But I'm saying me, the reason I don't, because I want to be able to say this shit if I seen Antonio Tarver or if I seen Floyd Mayweather, whoever. I don't say nothing crazy. Now I might talk with some passion and cuss here and there because I'm passionate. But I'm not going to call nobody a bitch, a punk, a faggot, or I'll do this when I see. I'm not doing that unless I really know I'll do what I said. Now, if you say something about a fighter, but you know in your heart that you'll do what you said, then hey, more power to you. But me, if I do say something, it's going to be something that I know that I'll say this shit in front of this dude. You know what I mean? But, and I see a lot of guys, they make videos and it's cool, you know, but some guy, I don't know, it's just some dudes, man, it's like they tiptoe from when they first started and they get these relationships and now they're tiptoeing and you can just tell, man. But again, you can't fuck up your credentials. You know what I mean? I don't expect nobody to fuck up their credentials for my joy. You know what I mean? Do what you have to do. But me, I can't do it, man. I can't. I don't feel right. I just feel like I got to take a bath or something after. Like I can't do it. You know, and maybe that's stopping some of my success to be in these gyms and get the, you know, the 411 and, you know, get the sweat flying so it can hit me. You know, I don't really care about none of that shit. You know, I'd rather be able to say what the fuck I want to say. Now, I had one dude, one uploader who was very, very popular, who said this to me. This was shit, 2011, who said this to me. He said, man, you got to pick a side. You know, he was referencing me to being on the fence a lot. And I was like, no, it ain't that I'm on the fence, bro. It's just the fact that I got different opinions. You know what I mean? Shit, one day I might think up, one day I might think down. One day, you know, it's not so much being on the fence. It's like, shit, I got to, you know, sometimes I can feel what the Democrats are saying. Sometimes I can feel what the Republicans are saying. I have a different opinion. I'm not just one way and that's it. And I mean, for some of you may think that, hey, man, that's the best way because then people know where you stand. Well, motherfucker need to know where I stand as far as just trying to be unbiased and just look at things, man. Now, the world isn't unbiased, and I know that. I'm not trying to play like, I'm a fucking victim here, but I'm just saying, I want to be able to say what the hell I want to say without being muzzled and without being my past getting taken away from me. I really don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? So, for those of you that want to know why I don't work for a media or get interviews or any of this type of shit, because I don't want to have to deal with the backlash of one of these fighters' hurt feelings. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm not a new channel. I've been around on YouTube since 2010. Most of you know this, but some people think I'm brand new because they look at when this particular channel was started. This is Mr. Boxing Today 2. My other channel is Mr. Boxing Today 1. And on that channel, I took 2 years off. You can go to my videos and you'll see a 2-year gap between some of the videos because the shit was just getting tiring with the Mayweather and Pacquiao. But hopefully I answer that question of why I don't work for media, why I don't want to work for or fucking gold. I don't want to do anything for any of them motherfuckers. I'll talk about the fighters, but I'm not in a rush to get a interview from Oscar De La Hoya or uh, Sam Watson or one of the Mayweather hanger-ons at the gym or one of the hanger-ons at Wild Card or one of the hanger-ons at any fucking gym. I don't feel like doing all that, man. YTBC, I'm out.